Now can you guess among different planes drawn here, what is that plane which divides the trunk into two halves, upper and a lower half? What is that plane? This plane has a lot of significance. Remember the transpyloric plane divides its trunk into two halves, right from the suprasternal notch up to the pubic symphysis is the vertical extent of the trunk anteriorly. And this plane here, transpyloric plane, divides the trunk into upper half and a lower half. So remember the importance about this transpyloric plane. So I should write it here about transpyloric plane. This passes at the level of lower border of L1 or upper border of L2. Right? One thing, point number one, it divides the trunk into two halves, upper and a lower half. Now this transpyloric plane, as its name suggests, that means passes through the pylorus of the stomach. Then it passes through the hilum of kidneys, because this right kidney is a little lower place, left kidney is a little higher place. So this transpyloric plane will pass through the upper portion of the hilum of the right kidney. It will pass through the lower portion of the hilum of the left kidney. Simple. So just remember that fact of the hilum of the kidney. Then, because hilum is there, so the renal vessels, renal arteries, renal veins, they will also be found at the same level, transpyloric. Renal vessels will be also found at the same level. Then you will find his neck of pancreas at this level. And remember that the spinal cord terminates at the lower border of L1. So it is spinal cord terminates here in adults. So it's in adults that this lower level of the spinal cord, that is conus medullaris, that reaches at the level of lower border of L1. But at the time of birth, the spinal cord, the lower end reaches up to L3. By the time this newborn reaches to the age of 1 year, infancy, completes its infancy. So at the end of 1 year, the spinal cord attains its definitive, that is the adult position of lower border of L1. Then, because it passes here anteriorly to the tips of the ninth costal cartilage, and below to the tip of this ninth costal cartilage on the right side, you find is this GB, the fundus of GB, gallbladder. So, in case of cholecystitis, pressing upon to this tip of the ninth costal cartilage will show tenderness, and that is called Murphy's sign. So remember, Murphy's sign is elicited at this point in case of cholecystitis. By the way, that is tenderness which can be seen on the face, the grimace of the face of the subject. So that's Murphy's sign. By the way, how will you assess about this? How will you count about the tip of the ninth? So one thing is the symphysis. Don't forget that symphysis, which is asked, symphysis lies at the level of T9. And what I told you about the sternocysternal angle, that lies at the level of T8, T9. So, a hand's breadth, you palpate about this in the midline, the depression here, this is the symphysis. You keep your hand here, a hand's breadth below to this symphysis, you can mark down the surface. This is also a portion of the surface anatomy. So keeping your hands breadth below to the symphysis, you can draw a line, and that's the transpyloric plane. So you can add up here is that fundus of gallbladder you will find here in this transpyloric plane.